How's it going, everyone? Sean here from Raw Technique Studios, and you'll see something new, which is the entire studio that I'm in. I rebuilt my studio over the last month, which is why I haven't been posting, and now I want to update you guys with the final product, which is the brand new build. I have a new desk, I have a new setup, everything is new in here. I even have a new couch. Everything is brand new in here, so I want to break it down for you guys, show you that process of the build, and talk about why I decided to go with some of the choices I went with. But let's start off with what you could see right here on the desk, which is this desk right here. It's a sit stand desk, which is cool because I can simply hit a button, it's gonna go up, and then I can stand up and do my work. Put it back down, I can sit down and do my work. Something that I've always wanted was a sit stand desk because I'm in here a lot. I don't want to have to sit all the time, and I want to be able to still hear everything at the proper height with my ears and the speakers. So now that I could do sit stand, it really helps. And there's not a big difference as far as the sound of it because this room is really well treated. So if I'm standing, it's not going to sound much different than when I'm sitting. And I have a huge cloud panel right above me, which is going to make it to where I don't have reflections off of the ceiling when my speakers are closer to the ceiling. So that helps a lot. So that's what's new here, sit stand desk, and it is a big one. It's 60 inches wide and 30 inches deep. And then I added some 4-unit gear racks so I could fit all my gear in here. And I also fit a computer stand right here in the middle so that my computer's up a bit as well. I also have a TV up there mounted onto the wall, so I have 2 screens just like I used to way back when I was in the room at the house. So it's nice to have that second screen again. Other than that, what you can see is the walls back here are different. This is a white wall, which is just fabric, and we'll get into that. There's a gray wall here, which is fabric, and then I have my little light going on there in the corner. I do have one panel there in the corner, which is going to be an extra way of kind of like base trapping, because I have these walls are all insulated and then just covered with fabric. So it's very dead sounding in here. Not too dead in my opinion, but just right. And then the panel is just an extra layer of treatment so it could help a little bit more with the bass instead of just having the corner open without them. So let's go ahead and look at some pictures of the build and walk through why I built everything as I did. So the first picture here is going to be the frame. I simply just built a rectangular room here, and I'm still in the same space. I just built a room inside of the space that I was already in. So I just built this frame up here, and I sectioned it off so the dimensions are kind of like a typical room. It's 14 feet front to back, 11 feet side to side, and my ceiling, which I didn't change because I didn't want to tear out my ceiling and raise it, but that is like just under 8 feet, which yes, it's very short, but I'm working with what I have here. So I made it to where none of the dimensions are equal to each other. So like this, if it was exactly 7 feet, then I wouldn't have done 14 foot front to back, because then it's a double of it and it messes with the acoustics. So it's a little under 8 feet. It's like a couple inches under 8 feet. This is close to 14 feet. It's not right on it, but it's near that. And then this is 11 feet. So none of the dimensions are equal to each other or doubles of each other or halves of each other or anything like that. And that helps with the acoustics. Now, it is a fairly small room, and with small rooms, I like things to be dead. So I don't want to have that boxy type of sound. So I just pretty much kill all of those reflections. And that's why I started putting insulation in all of the walls. So you can see here in this picture that it is framed out and insulation is in the walls. Now that goes all the way around the room here. And what I did was simply cover it with fabric. So the first layer of fabric, which is the black fabric, that is just a gardening fabric. That's to make sure none of the insulation gets through and into the room. I don't want to be breathing it in or anything like that. So that's just to keep things where it is. And then there's a second layer of fabric, which I put up, and I have a white fabric, which you can see behind me, but also have in the picture. And I have a dark gray fabric for the front and the back of the room. So that's how I decided to do it color-wise. And that's the final fabric, which is seen here in the studio. So that's just another layer. And the sound, it's a breathable fabric. It's a duck canvas, and it makes it to where the sound could still go through the fabric and into the insulation and get absorbed. So it's not a hard fabric that's not breathable to where the sound could bounce back off, like high frequencies and stuff would bounce back off if the fabric was too thick and not breathable enough. So if you could blow through the fabric and fill air on the other side of it, then that means it's breathable and the sound will be able to pass through it. So that's why I went with that fabric. So I decided to just use some peel and stick vinyl, did the whole floor, and I think it kind of brought the room together. Instead of having that concrete exposed with the gray paint on it, I think it looks much better like that. Now, I also wanted to put some wood trim up onto the walls, and I did this later on in the process after everything was set up. And I think it really like ties everything together. You can see behind me like the wood trim back here, over here, up in the corner, everything like that. And that just really ties everything together better with like that wood feel or that wood look. And I think it complements things like that. Because with the flooring, I tried to do like a wood imitation vinyl, and then I wanted to complement it with the trim as well. So fabric mixed with wood. I have a plant in the corner over here to bring some green into the room. So I think it just looks better overall, on top of sounding better as well. For the ceilings, I ended up going with all of my acoustic panels that I had on the walls in the old studio setup. I just put them up onto the ceiling, and I'm using my cloud up here and into the corners and everything. And I'll show you in the picture, or actually I'll put a video up so you can see the whole setup right here of how it's looking and how it ties together. So just a cloud right above me. I have 2 acoustic panels on the sides over here, so it's capturing that corner where the ceiling and the wall meet, so it's hitting right there. And it also captures floor to ceiling just to reduce any flutter. So if I clap, you're not going to hear any of that ping or flutter type of sound in here, which can make it sound really odd. Even though all the walls are treated, if the parallel surfaces are not treated in some way, then when you clap, you're going to have that ping, and it's going to sound really weird and throw off your mixes, because those high frequencies are just going back and forth really fast, and you can hear that weird ping sound. So that's something you don't really want. So that's why I'm treating the ceiling. Floor is just open, hard surface. Ceiling is treated with a bunch of panels. All right, so that is the new studio build. Hopefully you guys like this little studio tour and the process of how it came together. Now, if you guys ever need mixing or mastering, hit me up at rawtechniquestudios.com, or go ahead and just click on that link down below in the description. If you ever need a step-by-step process of how to get your music going from basic sounding setups in your home studio to something that sounds good, and how to get it out there on all the streaming services, collect your money and collect all those royalties, then go ahead and check out hiphopaudioschool.com or click on the link down below in the description. All right, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.